Yeah, obviously really happy with the victory. Really pleased with the turnout, obviously with the crowd and just the support that the guys had. Thought that was tremendous, as I said after the game. Hopefully the start of an upward trend in that regard. We know we got a long way to go, but it's great that we were able to play well and get a win in front of a crowd like that. Hopefully that gets the students and alumni and community to keep coming out and supporting these guys. But that was really awesome. Something that you think about when you're coming back to Davis is, can the stadium ever look like that? And to see that was pretty cool, and very thankful and grateful for that. Thought the team played well. There's obviously areas where we can get a lot better, but thought the defense's ability to create havoc on the quarterback. I think we had 5 or 6 sacks total, multiple quarterback hurries, quarterback hits from a bunch of different guys. Sam Goligowski, Trent Carrad, Syke, Durrell, Jacob Few, all got hits on the quarterback. They hadn't turned the ball over really at all year, and we were able to force a couple of turnovers, which was great. And then offensively, we've been complaining about our lack of explosive plays. They kind of shut me up with that. We were pretty explosive, scoring 50 points on 48 plays. I haven't really been a part of something like that before, so that was obviously great to see. And then again, special teams able to create some explosives, a couple of kick returns, great punt return again by Tico. Had the fake field goal 2-point conversion. Our kickoff coverage could have been a lot better. Obviously, that was an area that I was bummed out about. And defensively, just getting off the field on critical downs, we got to improve that. That was a big issue for us in the game, and why we had to defend so many plays. And then offensively, just get some mental lapses that killed a couple of drives that were frustrating. But other than that, thought we showed some great growth. Thought that was our best game so far of the 4 we've had, and hopefully we can continue to grow as the year goes and keep stacking better games. We'll need to play a lot better, obviously, to contend for the conference. But good to get a win at home, and excited to have another home game. Yeah, I thought he started the game really well. He was very prepared, obviously, off the bye week. Had a good idea what he was going to see. Thought that first drive of the game was that's how we should look. That's the standard of the offense, the tempo and the efficiency, the run and the pass, and the RPO, and all of that was great to see. And yeah, I think he had some inconsistencies as he's had all year. Just had some poor drives, some poor decision, missed some throws, took a delay game on a 3rd down. Not looking at the play clock, just things like that young guys are going to have. So this is probably the first game where it really wasn't anything that the defense had done that we had to adjust to. They pretty much did what we expected. But yeah, he had some young quarterback things he's got to learn from, and that's going to come a little bit with who he is right now. But he also showed what he's about with a couple of the runs he had, a couple of the conversions we had on 3rd down when he was able to extend plays. And I thought he made some great decisions in the gold zone area, where the touchdown to Winston and the touchdown to Mitch are great throws, great decisions. So he's still growing, still coming along. But yeah, had some frustrating moments for sure. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it was a point of emphasis for us. One of our keys of the game defensively was we had to get pressure on that quarterback. He was really talented. They were scoring 40 points a game. So our idea there was to create some explosives defensively, tackle for loss, sack, batted balls, turnovers. I think the great thing is that we're creating pressure. The more impressive thing is that it's coming from a multiple amount of guys. And so not shocked when Sam or Jacob are getting pressure on the quarterback. When we can get that same pressure from Trent and Durrell and Jaden, now you can keep guys fresh, keep them healthy. And again, I think the disappointment for the defense was just their inability to get off the field on 3rd down. And I think if we would have played better on the critical downs, it could have been a really electric night defensively because of all the negative plays they were forcing. So really pleased with the D-line. The depth that Jerry has recruited there is tremendous. Again, he deserves a lot of credit. One of the best recruiters in the conference, if not the best. He's been that way for a long time. To reload load that group in 1 year is pretty impressive. He's been a real bright spot. I mean, since the moment he got here, he just fits the environment perfectly. His work ethic, his attention to detail, his leadership. He is a tremendous player, and he does some things that are not, coachable. He makes some choices within plays that kind of make you nervous, but he has an innate ability to kind of read plays before they happen. They're running kind of a bash run scheme, and he just sees it, sprints, hits the quarterback and the tailback at the same time, gets a tackle for loss. Just his alignments and the choices he makes are not exactly the ones that you would coach him to do, but I think he's played so much football and he's so intelligent that he can see plays before they happen. He's been a real bright spot. I mean, I think he's going to be a guy that can wreak some havoc in the conference, which we need. Yeah, I think the bummer for them was, there wasn't really a lot of explosive passes. Like, we didn't really give up stuff that was over the top of us or that we got beat, on like a random. A lot of it was just poor tackling. And the tackling of our secondary was as bad as it's been since I've been here. And I know Coach Hicks and Coach Jordan take a lot of pride in that. We work it every week, and that was a bummer to see because a lot of it was 5 to 10 yard completions, broken tackle turns into a 20-yard gain. They deserve a lot of credit. Their quarterback's extremely accurate. They got great guys on the perimeter, but I think if we would have just tackled a lot cleaner and got them down, I think you would have cut down a lot of those yards and probably would have gotten off the field a lot more. So we have had some injuries. Obviously, Ty Richardson getting hurt in practice last week was a bummer. He'll be back at some point, but he's been playing well. Drew Cofield is a true freshman, has been outstanding. But even he missed some tackles this past game that I know he wants back. Marquise Bell stepped in at boundary corner and played well. Josiah Allen has played field and boundary corner and nickel and safety and has played well, so he got some more extended action last week. I think Cole Batson, Tico, Jaden Stanley, Rex Connors, these guys all had over 11,000 yards on the GPS. These guys were running a lot, playing a lot. Again, we were talking as a staff, a lot of that's their own doing, right? You got to get off the field, you play less snaps, you don't have to that type of stuff. So I think there's some fatigue setting in there a little bit, but I expect those guys to bounce back. They're all very good players, and I think they'll be highly motivated to play more physical and improve the tackling. That'll be a focus of this week in practice. Yeah, I got a lot of respect for the program. Obviously, Jay Hill's run there was pretty magical. Had the utmost respect for Jay. I've known him a long time. And I think when a guy like that leaves the program, it's going to be hard to replace that. But, I've known Mickey now for a while. I think he does a great job. He's accumulated a great staff, a lot of talent on the team. I'm not sure if they've fallen off at all. I just think the conference has gotten a lot better, and they've been in every game. In their last couple of years, they've been playing tough with that. So a lot of the stuff on their defense is very similar. A lot of the guys on their defensive staff are guys from Jay Hill's time. So the defense is going to be extremely well coached, very disciplined, play a lot of multitude of fronts, a lot of multitude of coverages, bring a lot of pressures. As well coached as any group you're going to see, yearly in the Weber State defense. And then obviously Mickey's knowledge on offense and what they do offensively. They got great quarterback play, good skill guys, scoring a lot of points against a lot of teams. So they're going to be a very, very difficult opponent. But wouldn't expect less. Once you get in the Big Sky play, every week's going to be tough. So thinking back to the games against Weber when I was at NAU and the games here at Davis were, felt like we were getting pounded by those guys when Jay Hill was there. So, we talked about last week, beating Southern Utah, they won the Big Sky Conference twice. Going against Weber, they won the Big Sky Conference a few times. If we want to get to the top of the conference, these are the teams you got to beat. So, it'll be a good test for us to see where we're at. I'm not surprised. I think the depth of the conference is real. There's no easy weeks. Montana teams are obviously at the top there, but Idaho almost beat San Jose State, probably should have beat them. Talk about Eastern Washington, and again, they had a great win. Northern Arizona beating Incarnate Word, they're ranked teams. Northern Arizona now is winning a lot of football games and almost beat Arizona State. So, I just don't think there's an easy week, right? Sac State's game was impressive. That was an impressive win for them. I think around the conference, there's not going to be any easy weeks. You got to best football or you're going to go down.
So
We started basically a school schedule last week, just so the guys could get used to what that would be like, because everything kind of gets bumped about an hour earlier, so that they can get to class. So we tried to get them used to that for the last week. But when you're going to a place like UC Davis, once you start adding in the academic structure to it, it adds another element. But we got great kids. We try to give them as much time to be students and enjoy their time at UC Davis. So hopefully that balance can happen. Probably the hardest for the freshmen, just going to class and get used to all that stuff. But we got some things in place to help them, and I'm sure they're excited also. School starts, you always got that feeling, meeting new students, making new friends. So it's an exciting time. I think it's a huge advantage to start school later, for sure, in a quarter system.
Appears to be.
Yeah, I think, when you're not going to class, you can just be basically pro football players for a couple of weeks. That's helpful. On the flip side, the quarter system is extremely rigorous and fast. So once school starts, the anxiety and stuff gets added pretty quickly. So, and then the disadvantages of the quarter system are, when school starts after the winter break and being able to get transfers in, all those things. So there's pluses and minuses, but definitely the advantage to a quarter system is you get to play 3 or 4 games usually before school starts. Yeah, I think we talked about it this morning, just had a couple of guys stand up and just say that how cool that was and how different it was. And, I think for them, it shows just they have support from a lot of people. And I think in the past sometimes you weren't quite sure where that was, right? But our administration and marketing and the facilities and just everyone had their hand in that. That was a complete UC Davis athletic department night, and everyone needs to be. I don't want to rattle off all the names. There was dozens of people that deserve a lot of credit for that night. I'm very thankful that they put in that type of effort. We talk about wanting to be a championship team, and it starts with a championship effort. And I feel like that effort was displayed by not only the players, but everybody in the department. And for us to grow this and get to where it's going to go, everyone's got to have that mindset every single day when they come here. That's been something I've been trying to talk about, and not that it hasn't been well received, but I think it's just new. It's new for everyone to think of it that way. And so when I talk about things sometimes seem impossible. Like when I got here, a lot of the statements were like, don't expect a great crowd, it's going to be hard to get the students to come to the game. But anything worth doing is going to have risk involved in it. And just because something seems impossible doesn't mean it's not worth fighting for and pushing for. And I think a lot of people would have said a night like that was not possible. So I think we've shown it is possible. And now, how do we build off of that? How do we make the next game something they want to be at, the next home game? And it starts with us winning and playing well, and then it starts, it continues with just our department and people surrounding, coming up with great ideas to get people involved. And hopefully a night like that can trigger into more consistent nights like that. But it was very special. I've never been a part of anything like that as long as I've been around Davis. And so, again, thankful that we played well and got a win, and hopefully that gets people to come back. Yeah, they're playing very well right now. Southern Utah has a fantastic defensive front, especially number 7, their defensive end. He was a key for us. I think he only had 2 tackles. So just you got a great coach in Mike Cody that's really kind of coming into his own as he's been doing it long enough that he knows the adjustments and the coach that he is. He's comfortable with who he is. So you got a coach that's kind of right in the prime of what he's doing, and he's got himself a bunch of talented players that are bought in and have played a lot together. It's a perfect recipe for a lot of success. So Mike deserves a lot of credit, similar to Jerry, with the people he's been able to recruit here, and then how he's been able to coach them and get them to play together. I think guys like Eli and Nava making the choice to come back when they didn't have to shows that how much they love Mike, how much they love Davis. You had that with a lot of the young guys that are exciting, like Zaire and Chase and David Portisano, David Main getting back off injury. Plus, I know guys haven't seen it, but there's 3 or 4 other guys right now that could start at most Big Sky teams that are behind those guys. AJ Sans, playing a lot for us now. I mean, there's a lot of good players in that room. So building the depth up front has been a huge focus of ours. Didn't know if it would happen this fast, but we've got some good depth. We've got to continue to build that the next couple of years if we want to make a push for something special. I do. I think I think it is always an interesting move when you go from the coordinator spot back to a position coach. It's almost kind of a relief in some aspects. You know, you get to just focus on your position. I kind of felt that at Cal when I was coaching tight ends for the first half of the year. Like, just kind of have your guys, and you get to make them as good as they can be. You know how important the position coach is because you as a coordinator are hoping your position coaches are taking, you know, what you want to put in place. But Mike's an elite coach, and I think went through some, you know, that last year there when he was the offensive coordinator. I think went through a lot of things personally and off the field stuff, you know, with his family, and even from the time I coached Mike, he's extremely detailed, very diligent, cares a lot, loves his players, and is a tireless worker. And because of that, you can be a really good coach. Yeah, I think you know, the hard part would be I probably do too much with the football stuff, to be honest. I mean, a lot of the guys that I look up to and admire and I talk to, from the Coach Petersons or whatever, their comment would most usually be, hey, you're doing too much of the football stuff. And it's not because I don't trust the staff. I have a great staff. It's just I just love football. It's hard for me to turn that part off. And so basically the way my week goes is Sunday I'm going to review the film, offense, defense, special teams. I'm going to make basically a cut up from the game. I'm going to meet with the staff. We're going to kind of talk about the game, what went right, what didn't, go get an injury report. I'm going to watch the game with the staff, just the highlights of the things, positives and negatives that I see in all three phases. Talk about, hey, let's keep doing this. We need to get this fixed. And then break out. I'll probably be here Sunday till 1 a.m., 2 a.m., breaking down all three phases, just so I have an idea what's going on with our defense and our special teams. Plus, I'm getting ready to game plan for our offense. Come back in Monday morning, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Kind of look at those things really quick again. Just sometimes I stay so late that you go wonky. You got to come back and make sure what you wrote down makes sense, and then get ready for the team meeting Monday morning. Jeff Burke's going to talk to the team, called a Mindset Monday. He's going to meet with them and get their mind ready for the week, what it's going to take to be successful. And then I have Tell the Truth Monday, where I'm going to watch the game with the entire team, and I'm going to tell them the truth about what's good and what's bad. And then we're going to game plan offensively. We're going to put the game plan in for normal down and distance by 1 o'clock. I'm going to come over here and talk to you guys. I'm going to go back over and watch the defense, get with the defensive staff, talk with them about the defensive game plan. Monday night, get with Coach Chapetti, go over the special teams game plan, get the practice plan ready, make sure Paul's got everything he needs for the quarterbacks, and then stay here late Monday night, get ready for red zone. Probably stay here midnight, 1 a.m., get over to the red zone, come back in Tuesday morning, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., get ready for practice. Team meetings at 7:15. Do the practice. Practice gets done. Watch the film with the offensive staff. Get with the defensive staff. Talk to Coach Chapetti, and put in the red zone. And then basically repeat that for the next day for third down. Hopefully get some sleep Wednesday night. Get here a little later on Thursday. Pick up my kids from school on Thursday afternoon. Take my wife out to dinner. Come in on Friday. Get ready for the game. Do Friday night fights. Play the game on Saturday. Do it again. A lot of surprises, yes. I think sometimes, what's the best way to say this? It's never good enough, I guess, is the problem that I have, especially offensively. So I was really frustrated Saturday night, believe it or not. Maybe I shouldn't be. But,
you sounded like you did.
Yeah, I was pretty frustrated. There's just some things that we're not doing yet that bother me. But then I'll watch the film, and usually my surprises are more positive. Like, I'll be like, dang, I didn't realize that was actually a great play by that young man. Or, wow, look at that route. That was really cool. Because during the game, I'm usually just thinking about what we're not doing well or what we need to do. And then fun for me as the head coach to be involved with the defense. I don't say that meaning that I'm involved in the game plan. I'm really not. I try to give those guys as much intel from an offensive perspective, but I love listening to Matt and the defensive staff during the game, and giving them feedback on things that I think are coming, or what I think maybe they should look at doing on different situations. A good example would be like when they're going for two. Like we knew they were going to go for two, so they told Matt to be prepared for that. Hey Matt, I'm probably going to call a timeout here, just so we can see what they're doing. Call a timeout, see the formation. We come over, talk about it. We're talking about what we would want to do defensively, and they go out and execute the play and stop the 2-point. Things like that are really fun for me because I've never really been involved with that. It's exciting to be involved in the special teams. I knew that we had a great kickoff return planned for Sammy, and we almost hit it the first time, and then wanted to do it the second time, got it, and it was awesome, really cool to see everybody block it right. We knew they had a great return man. We're working on kicking the ball on the boundary, and the first kick, we kick it out of bounds, right? And years past, I would have been like, what the heck are we doing? Why did the ball go kicked out of bounds? Well, now I know why. We're trying to put it in the boundary. Then we tried, okay, they're doing a great job on kick return. Let's try to pooch kick it. We don't kick it great. Now they get a return past the 50. And so you're involved in all those things. I knew we had a fake field goal. We planned it all week. Right before the game, Taylor's like, gosh, I don't think we should do it. One of the players we thought was hurt wasn't hurt. Weren't sure where he was going to line up. Hey, let's hold off. We get the look we want. Players are pissed because we're not running the fake. We told them we're going to run it. Come back after the second one. Okay, we're going to run it now. And then we block it perfectly and get it in. Setting up Tico's return. And all those things. I've never been involved in those things. I've seen them from afar. So maybe I shouldn't be as involved. I guess to answer the question back, should I not be involved in those things? I don't know. I just don't know any better. I love football, and so I like learning new things. And the most exciting thing for me in the first year and a half has been I got to learn more football because I get to sit in meetings that I've never gotten to sit in before. Normally it's just been score as many points as you can and keep your mouth shut. Now I get to be involved in all those things. So it's tiring and it's a lot of work, but it's joyful work. I think Saturday night's just kind of an anomaly because usually we run about 80 plays a game and we run 48 plays. I've just never really been a part of that before. But basically the way it ended up is kind of how it should be. I would think Fisher will probably get 2 to Carter's 1, right? So Fisher had 12 carries. I think Carter had 6. And Carter also caught a great pass to try to get him involved in the pass game sometimes. So 12 touches to 7 touches. That's about what it would be if we played another 40 plays, right? And Fisher's probably touching it 24, and Carter's probably touching it 12 to 15. And that's probably the way we would like it right now. Carter's still really young. We're trying to bring him along slowly. Sometimes give guys too much too early. He's probably mad at us for not getting him more involved as he should be. But I'm hoping that that'll lead to where we get to the end of the year and he'll be really confident and a guy that can really finish teams off. And Fisher's explosiveness, we've joked about it, but to actually see it up close at that many explosive runs is just really impressive. I just could not be happier for Fisher. I just can't say that enough. He's just the best kid that works hard, keeps his mouth shut, and has been waiting his time, and never complain. And okay, now we got this young guy, Carter Vargas, that everybody loves, and everybody wants to give it. Everyone kind of forgets about Fisher, and all he's done has just been tremendous, right? So really happy for him. Yeah, I mean, Mitch is the leader of our football team. Might sound crazy to say that from a tight end, but Mitch is the leader of the 2025 Aggies, and there's no leader more important than Mitch. Mitch is a very important player to me, one of my favorite players I've ever recruited and coached. As I've mentioned multiple times, one of my biggest regrets probably in my coaching career is not developing Mitch into the quarterback that I thought he could be because of the leader that he is. And yet for him to really develop into a good player at tight end, and last year was his first year doing it. He's really grown this year. He's also in charge of our punt team. Our punt team's been tremendous. They got a 41-yard net last night. He is the leader of our football team. Very proud of Mitch, and even though I regret the time I missed with him, these 2 years I will hold very dear to my heart because of how much I love Mitch. I'm very proud of him. We have 3 captains that are selected by the team. Last year we had 2 that were, we had 3 last year as well. We kind of have a vote. You see, if there were 6 guys that had a lot of votes, we'd pick 6. But usually it's about 2 or 3 guys. This year, Mitch and Rex had the most votes, and Sam was really close. So Sam Batu, Mitch Dixon, and Rex were our captains. They wear the C on the jersey. And then every week the staff picks one guy that they want to represent the team. And Grant's on our leadership council. Speak at lengths about Grant, but was happy for Grant, proud of him. He's done nothing but show Aggie pride the last few weeks. Still expect Grant to have a moment at some point this year that will be something that we can all remember. I feel like that's the way the football gods have it planned out for guys like Grant.